Sometimes you come across a baseball season and there really isn't that much to talk about. But here at Stratomatic Replay, we're going to find something to talk about. And in this case, we come to the year 1917. This is Robert again. And in 1917, you can take a look at places, people such as Ty Cobb, who led the American League in batting again. And Wally Pippett for the Yankees actually led with 9 home runs. Eddie Cicotte was the big man at the Chicago White Sox, and we will hear his name again very soon. And Walter Johnson led the American League in strikeouts. The National League was all about Grover Cleveland Alexander, Heine Zimmerman, who led the league in RBIs, and Gavy Kravitz again leads the National League in homers. That year, the Chicago White Sox defeated the New York Giants in the World Series, and they say it was kind of like an omen, because this same White Sox team would go down in history 2 years later to be known as the Black Sox, and we're not too far away from a full World Series replay. As you can take a look at, there's a picture, of course, of Knuckles Cicotte in his White Sox uniform, and many great things happened. Even Cicotte threw a no-hitter over the St. Louis Browns. And Babe Ruth pitched a shutout and drove in a game's only run on a sacrifice fly over Walter Johnson later in that year. Speaking of the Browns and speaking of the Senators, we haven't visited them with a while. And as a matter of fact, I haven't done the St. Louis Browns yet. So we're going to go back to the American League. We're doing a little exhibition game, shall we? So let's see what we got here. Welcome back to Stratomatic Baseball. We're in the 1917 season. We're going to play a game between the St. Louis Browns and the Washington Senators. This is our first time doing the Browns, and I figured this would be a pretty good team to go with. The Senators, we are going to have, of course, Walter Johnson do the job. And the Browns are going to have Alan Sotheron, and I'm going to play the Senators. I'll let the computer take care of the Browns. And of course, if you know your baseball, the St. Louis Browns would become the modern-day Baltimore Orioles in the and later in their year. Now, the funny thing is, the St. Louis Browns are actually remember, the St. Louis Browns were the Milwaukee Brewers, the original Milwaukee Brewers from 1901 and 1902 before they became the St. Louis Browns, and then of course they became the Baltimore Orioles later. And the St. Louis Browns is a baseball team that was mired in futility throughout its entire history in St. Louis. Yeah, I believe they got a lot of play with the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Browns played early on. The Browns played at Sportsman's Park. The Cardinals played at Robinson Field until the Cardinals moved into Sportsman's Park, and they started sharing that stadium. It's time to play a little baseball here. Stratomatic Replay. The St. Louis Browns versus the Washington Senators. Let's play ball.
Welcome to the stadium for today's ball game.
And it's supposed to be, and they say it's going to be a great day here at Griffith Stadium. Griffith Stadium. Another classic baseball field. This truly was a gorgeous baseball stadium for the day. Well known, well played, and a lot of great games are played here at Griffith. So there's going to be lots to. We're going to be visiting Griffith Stadium a number of times. Again, this is an old shot of Griffith. I don't know when this shot was taken, but take a look at that. That's still with the homes in the background, the trees. Griffith Stadium had to be one of the nicer ballparks back then at that time. It truly had to be. Let's go to the top of the first. And pitching, of course, for the Washington Senators is Walter Johnson. In 1917, 23 wins, 16 losses, 2.21 ERA. Walter Johnson, I don't know. I don't know. You had Christy Mathewson. You had Babe Ruth who was pitching well. You had Rube Marquard. You had Rube Waddle. I mean, Walter Johnson, would he be the Bob Gibson of his day? Would he be the Nolan Ryan of his day? I really don't know, but this guy was awesome to see pitch for the Washington Senators. Bert Schotten will lead off for the St. Louis Browns here in the top of the first. And steer right out. And the next batter will be Jimmy Austin. He bunts the ball. Ainsmith fields it and fires it to first, and he is out. So quick 2 outs now for the Browns, and now it brings up Ernie Johnson. Johnson pops it up to Judge at first to retire the side. We will go to the bottom of the first inning here, and let's take a look at the Browns pitcher. Pitching for the St. Louis Browns, Alan Sotheron. In 1917, 14 wins, 19 losses, 2.83 ERA. Yeah, he lost 5 more games than he won, but still a 2.83 ERA is still something to be happy about. And Alan Sotheron actually was a pretty good pitcher. If you look him up a little bit on Wikipedia, you'll see he actually knew what he was doing. Leading off for the Washington Senators will be Clyde Millan. He hits a clean base hit to Smith in center. Smith will toss it into the infield for the play, and Millan will stay at first, and that will bring up Howie Shanks. Millan is definitely a threat to steal. Let's see if we can get the lead. He's running, and he will steal second base easily. So we get a runner into scoring position early, and now Howie Shanks is the batter. Shanks is a pop fly ball to third. Austin will make the catch. That's the first out. And now here is Joe Judge. Steer right out. 2 men away. And now we'll bring up Mike Minoski. Can Minoski get him in? Well, he'll have to take a walk to first. So runners at first and second now for Sam Rice. So a chance for the Senators to see if they can get somebody in. Here's the pitch. This is going to be a single to center. Yes, we will send the runner, and that's going to score, and the Senators take an early 1-0 lead. So the Senators come through in the clutch. Nice play by Rice, and now the batter is Ray Morgan. Morgan, it's a ground ball to Johnson at second to retire the side. Washington 1, St. Louis 0, top of the second inning. And we've got Baby Doll Jacobson. Okay, Baby Doll Jacobson. With a name like that, you got to take a look. Let's see. In 1917, 248 average. He had 4 homers and 55 RBIs. Baby Doll Jacobson. Had to take a look at his card. He steer rights out. And now that will bring up Hank Severeid. Severeid is a ground ball to Leonard at third. He will make the play, throws it over to Judge, and that is the second out. And now we'll see Todd Sloan. Sloan is a ground ball to Leonard again. Another throw across the diamond. 3 up and 3 down for the Browns. And now here is Joe Leonard to lead it off in the bottom of the inning. Hits a ground ball to Levon at shortstop. He will make the play. 1 out. And now here's Eddie Ainsmith. Smith is gonna get a base hit. He will go to first, and he's definitely a steal threat. Walter Johnson will bat. Let's first see if we can get him on the second. He's running. He's gonna be safe. Ainsmith steals second. And now let's have a look at Walter Johnson's batting card. It doesn't show his batting record though, but let's see here. He's got single number 4. 4 is his best column, it looks like. And it looks like he can hit the homer. Okay. Looks like he can hit the home run. How about that? Let's see what Walter Johnson can do. Question, should we bunt Ainsmith over to third, or should we take the hit? You know what? Let's try the bunt. Chance for successful bunt. He fouls off the bunt attempt, and we're gonna stay with the bunt. 2-base error by Sotheron. How about that? A 2-base error by Sotheron. Ainsmith scores from second. So I'm figuring Sotheron tried to make the play, threw the ball into the stands, and allowed the run to score. So Walter Johnson actually comes up with a big play, even though all he was trying to do was just bunt the little ball. Here's Clyde Millan here in the bottom of the second. He's plunked. He'll go to first. And now it'll bring up Howie Shanks. That's a walk. Bases are loaded now for Joe Judge, and only 1 out here. Here's the pitch to Judge. He's plunked. That brings in a run. So Sotheron, after committing an error, hits 2 batters, and now it's 3-0. 3-0 Senators. Here's the pitch to Mike Minoski. He walks. Another run comes in to score. So the wheels have come off Alan Sotheron. As right now, after that error, he's plunked 2 batters and walked in a run. Here is now Sam Rice. That's going to be a base hit to center. Shanks is going to score. I'll send the lead runner, and we will hold the trailing runners. The throw is coming home. Judge scores. It's 6-0 Senators. Big play by Rice, who comes up with the big with the 2 RBIs, and Ray Morgan now stands in. Fielder Jones is visiting the mound, and that is going to be all for Alan Sotheron. He decides to bring in Ernie Koob. Let's have a look at him. Ernie Koob, in 1917, 6 wins, 14 losses, a 3.91 ERA. You got to remember, the St. Louis Browns were pretty much a futile team throughout much of their history, although they finally did win a pennant. And that came later, and I forget the year. I think it was 54. I'm not sure, but we'll have to. Trust me, when we get there, we're going to take a look. But I know the Browns did win a pennant, lost the World Series though. I know they played the Cardinals. It was an inner city World Series between the Browns and Cardinals. I know the Cardinals beat them, but we will be taking a look at that when we get there, shall we? But Ernie Koob is now the new pitcher for the Browns. Here's Ray Morgan, still 1 out and runners at first and second. He walks. So you bring a new pitcher and you're just letting batters, I bet they're not even taking the bat off the shoulder. They're just letting them throw. Here's Joe Leonard. That's another walk. 7-0 Senators. And Fielder Jones, who's managing the Browns, is probably saying, are you really kidding me right now? Here's Ainsmith. That's a ground ball to Levon. It's short. He will make the play. But Rice does score. The runner on first, Leonard, is out, but it's now 8-0. And now here's Walter Johnson. They have batted around. Johnson, the batter, he hits a fly ball to Smith in center, grounded up the middle, on through for a base hit. Johnson is taking about 2. He jams on the brake, scrambles back to first. The throw, he's out of there. Morgan scores from third. Ainsmith takes third, but that is it. What a play by Milan. It's through for a base hit, but Johnson scrambled back to first, but he couldn't get back there in time. He is out. But the Washington Senators hang a snowman on the St. Louis Browns in the bottom of the second. It's Washington 9, St. Louis nothing. And that is the most runs I think I've had in an inning since I've been doing this replay. So we go to the top of the third inning. Here's Earl Smith. And you give Walter Johnson an 8-run lead. I don't think the Browns are gonna get there. Here's Doc Levon. He strikes out, 2 men down. And now here is Ernie Koob. He grounds one to Shanks at short. It's a single to the infield, so they'll get. It looks like the Browns get a man on first, and now we'll see Bert Schotten. Schotten walks, so Johnson allows the rare walk that he allows. And now here's Jimmy Austin. Can the Browns get something going? Nope. Ground ball to Leonard at third to end the inning. Here's the bottom of the inning right now. Here's Clyde Milan. Milan walks. I don't know how many bases on balls yet. I have a funny feeling that's going to be a high number. Milan goes to first, and now here's Howie Shanks. That's a single to left field. Schotten makes the play. I'll hold the runners. And now with runners at first and second, nobody out, the batter is Joe Judge. Judge walks. And now the bases are loaded for Mike Minoski. And he sounds familiar. Let me have a look at him. Mike Minoski in 1917, 258 average, a homer, and 34 RBIs. He's got a little power, obviously. Bases loaded, nobody out. And let's see what Minoski does here. That's going to be a base hit. Milan's going to score. I'm going to continue to hold the runners. The third base coach puts up the stop sign. And it's now 10-0 nothing. Here's Sam Rice leading it off for the Senators. He lines one right to Levon at short, and they finally get an out. Bases are still loaded now for Ray Morgan. That's a ground ball to Austin, on to Johnson, and on to first, side retired. Could have been a lot more. At the end of 3 innings, it's the Washington Senators 10 and the St. Louis Browns nothing. And a beautiful day here at Griffith Stadium. Oh boy. If you are right now the crowd here at Griffith, you're getting yourself a nice cold one, and you're sitting back, relaxing, and just going to watch the rest of the game, knowing that even though it probably might not be exciting the rest of the way, it looks like it's going to be a win for your home team. Here's Ernie Johnson to lead it off for the Browns. That's a strikeout. And now here is Baby Doll. And Baby Doll grounds one to Morgan. He will make the play, 2 men down. And now here's Hank Severide. Severide's going to get himself a base hit, so he gets a 2-out single. And now Todd Sloan comes up for St. Louis. Ground ball to Leonard at third, gets the force at second. And the no threat, and the inning comes to a close. And we now go to Joe Leonard, who will lead it off for the Senators. Ground ball to Austin at third, gets the first out. And now here's Eddie Ainsmith. That's another walk. Oh, those bases on balls, as Ernie Harwell used to say. Here is Walter Johnson. I'll let him swing away. That's a fly ball to Sloan in right. He will make the play. It's a fly out. It allows Ainsmith to go to second, and now Clyde Milan will bat. That's going to be a base hit to right for Milan, and I'm going to send the runner. The throw is coming home. I'll send the trailing runner. Aggressive base running, no cutoff. Ainsmith scores. Trailing runner advances 11-0. And the Browns, I'm pretty sure right now are looking at their calendars and saying, are we going to play a game tomorrow? Because this one here is done. Here's Howie Shanks with a runner still at second. That's a split card, but that comes a line out to second to end the inning. Washington 11, St. Louis nothing, 5th inning now. And here's Earl Smith. There's a fly ball to Rice in right for 1 out. And now coming up for the Browns will be John Lavin, or Doc Lavin as they call him. That's a ground ball to Leonard at third. He will make the play. And now the batter is Ernie Koob. Strikeout. Bottom of the inning. And Joe Judds leads it off for the Senators. Strikeout. And now we have Mike Minosky. He is 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. There's a base hit to Sloan in right. Minosky goes to first. And now we'll see Sam Rice for the Senators. Single to right. Sloan will get it in there. I'm going to hold the runners. There's right now, it's pretty much, this is really almost monotonous. Runners at first and second now. Here's Ray Morgan. There's a fly ball to center. Smith will make the play, 2 men away. And now Joe Leonard will come up to bat. That is a clean triple. 2 runs score. 13-0. And this is incredible. I can't believe that the dice are actually rolling this way. Eddie Ainsmith is the batter. And that's going to be a split card. It's a double. Leonard scores from third. 14-0. I'm wondering now if this is the St. Louis Browns and the Washington Senators, or is it the St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Redskins? Because that right now is a football score. Here's Walter Johnson. Strikeout, and the inning comes to an end. Washington 14, St. Louis nothing, 6th inning, and Walter Johnson right now could probably just coast. Here is Bert Schotten for the Browns. It's a fly ball to Milan in center, 1 out. And you're now going to see Jimmy Austin. Strikeout, 2 men down. And it now will bring up Ernie Johnson. Steer right out. Walter Johnson just doing his stuff. Do you like watching a pro work? I certainly do. Certainly do. Here is Clyde Milan to lead it off for the Senators. There's a single to right. Milan will go to first, and the batter will be Howie Shanks. That's a line out to first. They'll get the out. And now the batter is Joe Judge. No matter what happens, the Senators are the hits just keep on coming. A triple by Judge. It's 15-0, and now Mike Minoski. There's a ground ball to Johnson at second. He will throw to Jacobson at first, but the run does score. 16-0. Now Sam Rice. Ground ball to second, and the inning is over. Washington Senators 16, St. Louis Browns nothing here at Griffith Stadium. And right now I think the crowd is probably falling asleep. This is when I didn't expect this kind of game. And right now we have scored a run. The Senators have scored a run on every single inning. Let's see if that continues. 7th inning right now. Baby Doll leading off for the Browns. And that is a fly out to center. It looked like it could have been gone for a homer, but Milan was there. 1 out. And now here's Hank Severeid. That's going to be a single. So St. Louis gets a runner on first, and now here's Todd Sloan. There's a fly ball to Rice and right. He will make the play. And the batter now is Earl Smith. There's a single to right field. They're gonna stop the runner. Will allow them to get 1 run on the board. It's finally 16-1. And now here's Doc Levon. He hits a ground ball to Morgan at second to retire the side. Ted Williams' career high for walks in one season of 52. How many times in his career did he walk 150 or more times? And that would be 3. Ted Williams. The best pure hitter in baseball history? I mean, is he? I mean, I was not around when he played. My grandfather was, and he remembers saying Ted Williams was the best hitter he ever saw. And I sometimes wonder. I mean, he's a legend. He's a baseball legend. He's a baseball icon. And yes, when you think about baseball, of course you think about Ted Williams. Of course you do. You know. So for all you Red Sox fans that are out there, you had somebody in your franchise's history that will never be forgotten. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's Ray Morgan to lead off for the Senators. And that is going to be a double. So Morgan goes to second. And now the batter is Joe Leonard. That's a walk. Runners at first and second now for Ainsmith. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be we're going to see a double switch. Tom Rogers has been called from the bullpen, and Wally Gerber will come as a shortstop. Let's have a look at him. Tom Rogers. In 1917, 3 wins, 6 losses, a 3.89 ERA. No saves. Okay. Almost looks like, I'm not sure it's a ringer card, but we'll see what Tom Rogers does here for the Browns. Ainsmith is the batter. There's a strikeout. 1 man down, and now here's Walter Johnson. There's a fly ball to center field. Smith makes the catch. 2 men down. Clyde Milan. Here's the pitch. It's a single to center, and I'm going to send the lead runner. The throw is coming home. Send the trailing runners. They're going to let the run score. Leonard is out going to third, but I did that just to see if the Senators could get another run in, and they do. That's the 7th straight inning with a run. 17-1, and we go to but the side is retired. We go to the 8th inning. Here's Wally Gerber leading it off for the Browns, and that's going to be a base hit. And that's a single for Gerber, and now Bert Schotten comes up. There's a foul ball out to third. Leonard will make the play. That's the out, and now here's Jimmy Austin. That is going to be a base hit to right for Austin. Runners now at first and second, and now here's Ernie Johnson. Johnson, it's a single to raise and right, and the runners hold. The bases are loaded for Baby Doll Jacobson. He is 0 for 3, And now 0 for 4 as Shanks makes the play and popped out in the infield. And now here's Hank Severide. Severide, it's a fly ball to Minoski in left. And the St. Louis Browns failed to get a run in with the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And now here is Howie Shanks to lead it off. Ground ball to second. Johnson will not make the play. It's an error. It allows Shanks to go to first. And now the batter is Joe Judge. That's a strikeout. And we'll bring up Mike Minoski. That's a walk. Runners at first and second now for Sam Rice. Here's the play. Ground ball to second. They're going to get the double play. And for the first time in the ball game, the Washington Senators do not score a run. And it would be, of course, in the last inning that they'll bat, because I'm pretty sure the Browns are not scoring 16 runs in the top of the 9th. And I'm pretty sure Walter Johnson's about to take care of business. Let's go to the top of the 9th and let's mercifully end this game. Here's Todd Sloan. Sloan says, not so fast. Let me get myself a nice single, and he does. He'll go to first. And now we'll bring up Earl Smith. Earl Smith says, hey, wait, I want to join the hit parade. He gets himself a base hit. Runners at first and second. And now Rogers at the plate. And I think we'll see a pinch hitter. We do. It's going to be Grover Hartley. He will pinch hit for the Browns. That's a ground ball to third. They will get the one out. They get the force at second. Runners at first and third now. And it is now time for Wally Gerber. That's going to be a base hit. They'll get a run in. Hartley will stay at second. It's now 17-2. And now here's Bert Schotten. That's going to be a line out to first for the second out. And the last chance for the Browns is going to be Jimmy Austin. Austin grounds it to third. Leonard makes the play. He'll tag the bag for the out. Mercifully, the ball game is over. Wow. We've played some games so far, but that might have been the most lopsided game I've ever played at this time. And I know there's probably going to be a lot more of them. What a game for the Washington Senators. Does that really just show you how bad the St. Louis Browns were when they were in St. Louis? Let's have a look at the box score, and let's read through this. Oh, boy. Everybody on the Senators had a hit. Clyde Milan was 4 for 4. He had 2 RBIs. He had a hit every time he got up. Mike Minoski was 2 for 3. Sam Rice was 3 for 6. Ainsmith was 2 for 4. Even Walter Johnson got a base hit. He was 1 for 4. Minoski and Rice and Leonard all had 3 RBIs in the ball game. And let's see here. Alan Sawthorne took the loss. They walked a total. This is how bad it was. The St. Louis Browns walked 14 batters. That is amazing. They walked, 10 batters. I'm looking at the earned runs. 10 batters. They walked 10 batters. Sawthorne walked 3, Koob walked 6, and Rogers walked 1. They did get 5 strikeouts. Wow. What a mess. Walter Johnson, of course, got the win. He only gave up 2 earned runs. He struck them out. He struck out 8 players. There were no homers. The Browns and Senators both left my men on base. Johnson and Sawthorne each committed an error. It's like when Sawthorne committed that error that allowed the run to score on the bunt. That was basically the it for Sawthorne, and that's when the Browns just went totally downhill. Oh, boy. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, although this was a little bit painful to do a replay on. But, hey, I don't know how these games are turning out because I'm doing this as we speak. So I do want to thank you for watching this disaster. Please don't hold it against me. And we'll see what happens as we get to 1918. Have a good night, everybody. Once again, final score, the Senators absolutely obliterate the Browns 17-2. Good night, everybody.